Okay, everybody, here we go. And I'm in a good mood again. Despite this hurricane, we're getting some pretty good rain here in Sarasota, Florida right now. Nothing like I mean, they're making out to be on the TV, at least here. I mean, like zero, but that's okay. Yeah, Joe, we're gonna talk about that. The MMRI. It's a big deal. What's going on here? So anyway, people, this is my post-market wrap-up. Still Tuesday, I believe, August 29th, 2023. So much to talk about here. Let's start off with this market here just real quick. Pretty much a nice rally across the board. All the major indices, nice gains. You got the mainstream propaganda ministries. They're spraying their shorts all over the place in their usual orgasmic state when the market takes off like today. But there's a few things behind this. Okay. Um, it appears to me, if you were to look at risk in this market, okay, you and I, we use the MMRI, Mannarino Market Risk Indicator. It has cratered over the past couple of weeks. We were over 280. Now we're down to like 264. Did you see the dollar today? The dollar on a relative strength basis like fell through the floor. 10-year yield, again, big turnaround here. So the market's a little giddy off risk, which seems to be dropping. Well, some of that, well, let me just read this to you. Here's a little piece of news for you. China's largest banks are preparing to cut interest rates on existing mortgages and deposits, the latest state-directed measures to shore up growth in the world's second largest economy. Well, that was enough on top of, I mean, that did drive risk lower. So the fact that it appears that, the world's second largest economy is going to be instituting some kind of stimulus here makes the market here think that the Fed is going to follow suit. I'm going to take the opposite side of that trade. I believe that the Federal Reserve, and it doesn't matter anyway, with their token 25 basis point hikes that are supposed to be miraculous, eventually it's supposed to stop everything. No, the Fed's going to keep going. At least I believe that right now. If I change my mind, I'll let you know. The Fed will keep the pressure on. This is not about doing a damn thing with regard to lowering inflation. This is about cutting off credit. This is about crushing the consumer and fostering a two-tier society of extreme haves and extreme have-nots. You all know that. So I think the Fed is going to continue pressuring the economy. We're going to see debts and deficits continue to skyrocket. We just found out. I mean, think about what I'm about to tell you, people. We just found out that in just the last week, the debt has now ballooned nearly $100 billion. You think that's going to stop? No. You know it's not going to stop because we've talked about this to the point of nauseum. Now, I want you to consider something else. Let's have a little fun here. Are you ready? Let's do it. So rally in the stock market today on the back of this news out of China, on the back of risk in this market falling, MMRI dropping precipitously. But hold that thought. I'm going to share something with you that someone shared with me with regard to the MMRI that you are going to find very interesting. So on the economic front, are you ready? Consumer confidence, consumer confidence falls. So consumers are not too confident these days because they're all getting conned anyway. So on top of that, U.S. job openings now dropped to a 2-year low, but the market loves that. The market loves that. Let's move on to a couple of other assets today. You're watching cryptocurrencies, gold and silver. Let's stick to cryptos real quick. Cryptocurrencies across the board, nice rally. Bitcoin up over 7%. Why? Because Grayscale, which is a crypto investment institution here, they just won a case against the SEC with regard to a Bitcoin ETF. Okay, whatever. Market's loving it. The crypto space is loving it. You get a nice rally here. Gold and especially silver, nice bump today. A lot of that was because of the relative strength of the dollar, again, falling. You know how this works. But it's so much bigger than that, people. So much bigger than that. Anyway, so let us now move forward just a little bit. I talked about. I'm scribbling stuff down all day on stuff that I want to talk about with all of you. and sometimes I get a little, a little caught up in all this. Crude oil, all right. Crude oil is now over $81 a barrel. I have to say that's something you and I have been watching, and we've called perfectly. Okay, perfectly. I honestly I can't say that. I expected crude to fall a little more, but and form a bottom here. We did bottom out a little higher than I expected, but it clearly looks like we're making another move to the upside, which could be profound moving forward. As central banks, none more so than the Fed, continue to destroy the purchasing power of the currency. Okay, so with that, let us move forward here. Let me ask you a question. Okay, all of you pretty much are smarter than I am. So with regard to what we found out with regard to China, with they're going to be cutting rates and more stimulus. Do you believe? Because the market believes this, but do you believe that the Fed is going to follow suit? I mean, I just told you my take on it. I don't think so. I think the Fed is going to keep the pedal to the metal for a while here. I mean, these token 25 basis point hikes are they're just nonsensical. And of course, it's going to be followed by the European Central Bank, and it's going to be followed by the Bank of England as well, because they're working in lockstep. Exactly. Nah, I don't think so either. I think most of you are going to say no. I think they're going to keep the pressure on because that's the goal. They're in the process of an extermination, and you've known this. I don't know how many years and years ago. I told people straight out. I said, if you're a member or consider yourself a member of the middle class, you have a target tattooed on your face. I told you a freight train's coming straight at you, and you got to try to sidestep it. And we're doing this by bending against the debt, becoming our own central banks, and now we are unbanking ourselves. Unbanking ourselves. We got to get out of their system. Okay, and more people are doing it. I sincerely believe that. There's no way that year over year deposits to these institutions have fallen at least $1 trillion. And then you got massive capital outflows without this being deliberate. I understand. Believe me, a lot of you are saying, well, Greg, it's the consumer. They can't get by. And that's the truth. That's absolutely the truth. But people, I believe, are waking up, and I think this is really a quiet revolution that started. At least I want to believe that, because that's what we need. If we continue to fuel their system and keep our cash in these organizations here, we're just done, all right? Yes, they have a whole new system ready to roll out, and it's in the works right now. Absolutely. Central bank digital currencies, some kind of cross-border thing is in the works, and it's going to be shoved down all of our throats. Just be ready for that. And then, of course, you got this whole thing with the fear, with the right now, the whole scam, the new scam they're throwing on us right now. You know what I'm talking about? Is being overshadowed by this terrible hurricane. And I'm telling you, I'm right here. There's nothing going on right now. Although, let's say if the power goes out overnight, you might not see me in the morning. So if you don't see me in the morning, that means the power went out. But I don't want you to worry about me. I'm doing good. I'm in a good spot. I'm only about a block and a half from the shore, so I'll let you know what's going to happen. Now, I want to bring your attention to something that I think you're going to find very, very interesting. If you do subscribe to my free newsletter, this is in your inbox right now. A person who goes by the tag Illuminati Seed, they got this name apparently because they were a gamer, or has nothing to do with the Illuminati, made an incredible, and I think this is incredible, observation, backtesting the MMRI. And I have to say that my hat goes off to this person, because this is pretty profound. Let me just read this to you. It's an interesting take on what's happening. So, Lions and friends, I would like to share some observations regarding MMRI, which were made by Illuminati Seed. These observations, which I'm going to cover right now, in my opinion, are noteworthy. And I would like to thank Illuminati Seed for sharing this information. Now, this is what Illuminati Seed wrote. Pay attention to some of this, because it led to some pretty interesting, thought-provoking conclusions. So, in November 2018, the MMRI reached its peak of 195.26% and fell into the beginning of March 2020, dipping just below 20%. It wasn't the long-term decline in the MMRI that makes the observation appealing. It's the areas where the MMRI fell, like we're seeing right now, at a very rapid pace. Okay, that's what we're seeing right now. That's what makes this more interesting. And those areas were right before the pandemic became a crisis in 2020. So that's, I would have to say, pretty profound. The pace at which it's falling today is just a drop in the bucket compared to then, but it should be something we should keep our eyes on. I happen to agree with that. Mannarino, he goes on to say, points out that it is not the direction at which the bond yields go, but the pace. You and I have talked about the pace at which they reach their inevitable destination. A rapidly falling 10-year yield could have the same negative consequences as a rapidly rising 10-year yield based on this observation. But listen to this one. This is even more interesting. Another observation that dates back to Black Monday, one of the worst days ever in the world, the stock markets here, especially here in the United States. Prior to Black Monday, the MMRI fell to at its fastest pace in history before finding a bottom. And once the MMRI bounced, the stock market suffered the worst drop in a single day in recorded history. So it's the velocity. We have to consider, look, the MMRI is a new tool. And I have to say this, for people like Illuminati Seed, there's a lot of people who look at the MMRI and backtest it and try to make sense of what's going on. Again, you're all smarter than I am. I released this tool and I'd like to see what people are doing with it. But a lot of this, what people are talking about, is reflective as to what this guy is kind of saying here. So we need to keep our eyes on, like, this current situation. Yes, we are watching risk in this market drop precipitously. Someone out here is buying a lot of debt. We know it's BlackRock. BlackRock admitted they're buying debt. They're buying debt. The Fed's buying debt. This is artificial. It's artificial. You can't just get in here and buy all this debt and expect there not to be a ripple effect here. Okay, we have the relative strength of the dollar falling off of a cliff. You and I knew this was going to happen. What did we talk about? 3 things. Remember, we said 3 things could happen. 1, the Fed, BlackRock, whatever, someone buys the debt, suppressing yields. Well, duh, that's what just happened. The Fed could weaken the dollar. Duh, that just happened pretty profoundly today. Or number 3, the Fed could get in here and start buying the market. I believe that's going on as well. The price action of the S&P 500 just crossed above. We were below the 50-day moving average just this freaking morning. Now today we're above it. You see what I'm talking about here? So we got this supposed China stimulus, cutting rates here. There's a lot going on here, people, honestly. And despite the economic news, I mean, consumer confidence falling off of a cliff here. You can't make this stuff up. And U.S. job openings fall to a 2-year low. We get a rally in the stock market. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. So, look, everything we're seeing right now, including the market, I don't believe they're done. I've been saying this for how long? And I've been taking a lot of heat for that. Oh, Greg, you're totally wrong. You don't know. Look, I'm not the smartest guy in the room, and all of you are smarter than me, especially Illuminati Seed with this thing that he came up with here. I think it's profound. I just don't think they're done. I don't think they're done. They're going to throw another crisis at us, period, the end. And I think the writing is on the wall of what they're going to do. Okay, you got it? You see what I'm doing here? I got to keep my mouth shut here. The market seems to believe the Fed's going to, maybe there's going to be more stimulus, but I don't think they're going to be cutting rates because they're not done. They're not done, in my opinion, pressuring the middle class. They want you gone. Gone, gone, gone. Thank you, Alexandru Haji. I'm bad with names. Forgive me for that. Yeah, it's going to be another Convid 2.0, I believe. We can say that word. Anyway, look, I know I'm sitting here and I am preaching to the choir, as I always am. Yes, it's a con job, Joe. You're totally right. But we got this. I don't care what they do, what they throw at us. We're ahead of the curve. No one can be more. Look, everything we're seeing, we knew was going to happen with regard to the bond market, with regard to the dollar falling over the cliff, the rally in the market, crude oil. You want to go on and on. The crisis after crisis after crisis that they're throwing in our freaking face, shoving in our gabagools, elbow deep. This is what they're going to do. We got it. We got it. and we know what's going on here. Anyway, with that said, let's do some questions from all of you. I want to thank you for those thumbs up. We're up to over 500 already. Maybe we can do a little better with that. I got like 1,800 people here. It's these thumbs up are so important. Again, it gets this stuff out there. Anyway, gold or silver? I got a question here from Sussy LH asking me gold or silver. How about you, my friends, answer that question? What is Greg's favorite asset of all time? I'm not even going to say it. Watch this, Sussy. Watch what happens. You see that? Silver. Everybody knows. Bitcoin. I love Bitcoin too, but I'm going to tell you it's silver. All right. Everyone knows it's silver. Look at it. No, I'm not going to lick the silver. In fact, I don't even have it on my desk here right now. Copo. Yes, Joey Socks. Copo come out. Pretty badass. Anyway, all right. Okay, we got it with the silver people. You got it. Wow, we just hit nearly 700 thumbs up. I want to own the coins. There's a question about buying, futures or the paper derivative here. No, I want to hold this stuff in my hand. I think most of you would agree with me on that too. Look, commodities, and more commodities is the place to be, in my opinion, moving forward. This is eventually going to melt down. Tony, thank you so much for that. Yes, we're all staying strong. Silver or a Rolex? A Rolex is a commodity. It's a nice one. In my view, it's a commodity. I happen to have inherited a Rolex from my dad when he passed away. And unfortunately, I would have rather got it a different way. Anyway, so what do you guys think about this? This whole thing from Illuminati Seed. I want you to read this. So go check your inbox if you're a subscriber to my free newsletter. Read through this. These observations are pretty profound. So let's keep this in mind. When we're seeing rapid moves in the MMRI up or down, these could be danger signs. Especially if we get a big move down and then it looks like a quick rebound. I mean, just before Black Monday, that's what happened in this observation here. And just prior to the last scamdemic that they threw at us too. So let's keep our eyes on this. There may be something more to what's going on here. Again, this is a new tool. And I know all of you are utilizing it, and I'm very happy about that as well. Anyway, what are my thoughts on base metals? These are commodities as well. So I'm bullish on. I am bullish on commodities across the board. I can't say this another way. I believe that we need commodities, and at least some exposure to these things, whether you want to invest in an exchange traded fund, for which I put out several newsletters on that. Again, my newsletter is free to everybody. Link in the description of this video. Or you want to hold in your hand, silver, my favorite asset, gold would come in second, then platinum and palladium, like an equal third here. I also honestly believe that you need, people hate when I say this, but some exposure to cryptocurrencies, people. I think this is an asset class that has a lot of potential moving forward. But again, it's a space that's so volatile. It's definitely not for everyone. 100%. Wow, we just got 808 thumbs up here. JEPI, absolutely. I'm still in JEPI. They're going to prop up this market. I've been saying this. I've stood by this. I'm saying they're not done. They're not done. Dash is a crypto as well. It's a long-term hold. I told everybody since day one. Lord Humongous, hey, buddy. Lori's doing okay. She's getting some treatment, and it looks like they caught this really early. So we'll see, and I'll keep all of you on top of that as well. All right, people. FEMA wants Coco. They ain't getting Coco. I will defend that little guy. Thanks, Lord Humongous. I appreciate that. Anyway, that's it. I think we're just about done. This is almost a 20-minute video. I get complaints. I get complaints when these things run too long. These people, they don't like it. They don't like it. You're welcome, Geo Rider. We're in this together. All of us are. I'll play the guitar eventually. I promise. I'm so out of practice. I just picked that thing up earlier today for the first time in a while. Like my hands aren't doing what they're supposed to. People, as always, we got each other's backs. And as far as I'm concerned, we can't possibly lose. Wow. Almost 900 thumbs up, almost 1,900 people in this live stream here. Unbelievable. We're making a difference in the world, people. You have to believe me on this one. I really feel that way. Again, this isn't my thing. This is our thing. Some of you have been with me for so long. You know, it's you. All of you are responsible for getting this work out. I don't do anything with it. I put these videos out and you guys take it from there. You guys share all this stuff. You're the ones giving these thumbs up. You're the ones allowing people to see this stuff. So it's you, all of you out here. And I think we're making a difference. In fact, I know we're making a difference. No doubt about it. And I'm very proud to say that. As a matter of fact, yes, real quick, last thing, the Camaro did sell. My time machine Camaro did sell, and one of you bought it. I'm not going to disclose the person's name without their permission, but one of my lions bought my drag car, my 69 Camaro Super Sport, and that person will be running 10-second quarter miles with that car. I'm so happy that it was bought by a lion. All right. Love you all. I will see you in the morning again. Thank you for your support. Thank you for those thumbs up. Thank you for being here. I can't tell you how much I appreciate all of you. Like you have no idea. All right. I'll see you all in the morning. I hope to see you in the morning. If you don't see me, that means we lost power. All right. I'm going to be fine. So just let's pray for people out here. Those of you that believe in a higher power. Some people are going to get affected by this in a very negative way. I think it's going to sidestep me. At least I'd like to think so. And we'll see how this goes. All right. So I'll see you in the morning. At least I hope so.